So I wanted to say something about making videos and how to get views. I know a little something, but I don't know everything. I don't know how anybody can know anything because it's sort of sort of mysterious. And not only that, they're always changing the programming in the background. So they added these algorithms. I think that in the beginning there was just a very basic algorithm, and those algorithms mean that they're searching for certain things. And the first thing is your channel and your name and your IP address. In other words, the signal that you use at your address or in your phone is also a mobile IP connected with the antennas and usually sometimes in the satellite. And the YouTube system through Google picks up all that information. And so if there's something going on like shadow banning, then your channel is not even going to be considered in the algorithm. But if you're not strictly persona non grata, then you'll get some activity because the algorithm will match it up to the words in your title and your description, and apparently not so much in the tags, because it has like a little note now in the box for tags when you're adding them. It says that they don't do much. So it's like it says something like it doesn't do much unless there's spelling challenges like to words in your title, something like that. So I just recently saw that. I've never seen any explanation in the um, the function of tags, and it is those are functions. Everything in the video page and the search engine that goes the algorithm process is a function. Each one of those, or whatever you want to call it, a function or a section. Okay, so what it means is that there's different um, data to the computer that processes everything automated. It's all AI. The whole thing is just a network of zeros and ones like code that it's just constantly processing. So it's a massive computerized behemoth, like the machine. So, having said that, I have to use a healthy mindset and a healthy attitude about it. I'm not going to YouTube and thinking that it's going to be fair and that I'm going to get like a reasonable share of the audience. It's not going to work that way. It hasn't worked that way for me for 9, 10, maybe 11 years. And for some people, you haven't even used YouTube that long. You maybe have used it for a few years, and it's also not going to be like that for you. You're not going to get anything that's fair. And I really feel for you. Okay, if you never have the experience of waking up and your video is a viral video and you got so many more views than you ever thought, and so many comments, and there was a lot of good comments that you're getting, and that's a fantasy because you may only get views from one person, your bestie, or from you tell mom and dad to look at a video. I'm like grooming myself. That why not look? I'm a busy person. Oh, I have a piece of rice in my hair because I'm treating my hair with rice water. And that's very healthy, but not to distract away from the subject. If you get 1 million views suddenly on your video, and it's like a dream come true. And I've had that experience when it was actually really hard to do that. Um, when YouTube wasn't getting so many views, and the views were actually real. It was like organic views, and it wasn't just a pumped up number like some, who knows, nothing's verifiable. But if you got a viral video, and it was like, um, you know, something that you really wanted to express to the world, so there's the experience. It's joyful. It feels like an accomplishment. It's really something. And I mean, the reality is that hundreds of millions of people out there that use the site, and that hundreds of millions of people that are content creators, um, you're not going to experience that, because not everybody can be famous. Not everybody can get that kind of an audience. And I'm just telling you reality. I'm not trying to let you down or discourage you. I mean, you can still keep trying. And you know what they say about that. It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you play the game. Okay, so just underline that and remember it every day. Every time you release a video. So here's my wise advice, because I've been very lucky, and if I never get any views anymore, here I am. It sounds like a sob story. Pity me. No. Listen. I know the experience very well. Like, oh wow, getting millions of views. Yeah, I know. And I'm just telling you that I'm not, and I may never again. But you don't need that. I didn't need that, and I don't need it now. Okay, I'm very clear in what I'm saying, and I'm a serious person. I'm not a comedian like I used to do. When I was a young guy, I used to be like ha 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 and make merry, and no. Life's too serious. Even when you're joking, you have to have that seriousness in your foundation. In the background of your thinking, you always have to be really serious. So I'm telling you now, I'm just 100% serious, because I don't mess around anymore. I've just seen too much, and I've gotten to a point in life now where I'm going to continue on for many more decades thinking in the way that I always should have. Wow, there's this famous phrase, I wish I knew now, I wish I knew then what I know now. The then and now dichotomy. And hindsight is 2020. Foresight, out of focus. Totally don't see it. I didn't see that. Went right over my head. So hindsight is like when you actually reflect on life, and it's like the old Greek axiom. You examine life. Examine the self. And then you find out some things. So I wasn't doing it, just like now. I'm continuing the same thing that I always did, which is the best and most intelligent approach. You're doing the video for you. All right, let me repeat that. And I'll say it as a statement, because I can only really speak for myself. I'm doing this video for me. And that I'm listening to it as I'm doing it, so that's the therapy. I'm like healing myself. I'm convincing myself of what I believe and what I know. And guess what? I mean, not to really make a joke, but if you want to laugh at it, I'm talking to myself. Sometimes they lock up people, put them in a straitjacket and you have to be on medication and you get 3 square meals a day and it's not good food. But you're not a part of society anymore because you're just talking to yourself. So here's the thing. I don't care. I have never cared, in fact. I've only cared about what's inside of me, what I feel for me, and I always love myself. So here's the point. Do everything to create a system in your life and whatever you do to love yourself. There's commandments about it. You know, all religions, they're supposed to be based on these tenets, these commandments. Because guess what? God is within. So if you can't find the love of yourself, you certainly are not going to find God inside of you. God inside of you, God within. How are you going to love it when you don't even love yourself to get to that love? You can't. It's impossible. Love begets love. I think even, well, not to name any names, I respect all the prophets, all the true prophets, and not the false prophets, of course. So I'm making this video for me. I'm hearing myself in real time. I know it's being recorded, and I can watch it again. I can test it out if I need to, if I have time. So that's double time. If it takes me like 15 minutes to do the video, then 15 minutes to watch it or skip through it, peruse it again, and then I reconfirm, or is that confirm or reconfirm? And I listen and I agree with what I've just said, and I release it. And I'm not being too analytical. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist. You can see I'm like trying to group myself because actually these shirts, let me tell you about these shirts. They're not, these are hand-me-down shirts. Yeah, and family that happens. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. I just appreciate not wasting something, and somebody does something for me, and they are thanked for that. They get a great thank you, and they feel that they've done something to help, because they certainly have more than enough. And so that's when we have abundance, and we can share it. We can give. It is better to give than to receive, they say. Because certainly the reason why that wisdom was given is because everybody wants to receive. Everybody wants gifts. But when that happens, then there's nobody to give those gifts except for Santa Claus. So that's probably why they had to create Santa Claus, because invent this guy that keeps giving. His sled has an infinite quantity, and he keeps dropping them off on Christmas. Anyhow, that's not a new cartoon movie that I'm going to be making. I'm going to be making the true story behind the Matrix. And you notice that this is the same background. This is where I sit and I do those videos. I think I've done 2, maybe 3. And it's just that I move around to different locations, and sometimes you see me outside. I'm touring around. Sometimes you see me on a job site. And here's the thing. Let me just wrap it up with this. This morning, so I got up before dawn, which I usually do. Probably 70 or 80% of the time of the days, and I find that those are the best hours to just kind of focus on things, and then I navigate around in things that I want to do, and there's not a lot of disturbances, or not a lot of phone calls or emails coming in. Oh my goodness, so especially on a Sunday, it's my favorite day. And I probably reviewed and edited the settings and released a combined total of, wow, this is going to be like, how do I quantify it? Oh, I've got sand in my eye. I quantify it with well, I want to say over 100. I'm not sure how much, but maybe closer to 150 videos. Nah, probably about 130 videos that I reviewed. And if you look the date, I'm going to release this 15 minutes really. I'm going to be releasing this, and I worked on 3 channels, but 2 main channels, and uh, no, that's four channels that I worked, and so many different subjects. But what I'm mostly doing with it is I'm getting the information accurate. I'm putting things in order, creating series, creating playlists so it can be found, so that I can understand it, so that I can find it. Remember, I don't really I don't have expectations of anybody else out there. It's all for me. And if people come to me to learn from me, then that's great. So I did all that video stuff, and so the reason is when I'm doing my classes, the resources are going to be teaching material and something for what I call in ChronoCosmonomy is referencity. Referencity is a really big concept, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm sharpening my focus because almost every day, an average of 6 days a week, I put in a lot of effort on the research project known as ChronoCosmonomy, and that's a science. It will be accepted and studied as a science, one of the main branches of science in the future civilization. And that's why I'm doing it. Right now, it's been a lonely pursuit, but that's the way it always is. I mean, look at people like Isaac Newton. If you know anything about the history of science and the main scientists, Isaac Newton spent a lot of time alone. He didn't even have time for a relationship. Maybe sometimes he dealt with people of the opposite sex, the gender of women. He probably liked women, but he didn't have much time for them. He never got married. And there's even been kind of a rumor these days that people know his sexual history, which is sort of circumstantial evidence because I don't think he talked about it. I don't think anybody talked about it. So there's no actual evidence. But the rumor is that Isaac Newton remained a virgin all of his life. So, in consideration of that and the fact that he really kept to himself most of the time, you see how much effort he put into it in his lonely pursuit. Yeah. So, when all is said and done, somebody ends up with a huge impact. Oh, I love that word. It's just like a train off the rails. It's I want to say impact or influence on the way people think. And how do you do that? Well, he's dead and gone, isn't he? Unless he reincarnated. But we can look at that and say, um, all that work and that blood, sweat, and tears, it does amount to something. There's something for posterity, and there's something that is a gift that keeps on giving. So while I work every day and while I'm making this video, I know that it's the same purposes. Even though my videos may not get found ever again, I can't complain at all. And I feel for everybody out there, but I'm trying to give you advice. If you would ever find this video, who knows? But this is a resource because I am organizing things directly on an organic level and something that's more tangible, not just scrolling through video watching and never knowing and getting any feedback. There's no interaction. Back in the early days, the interaction was like incredible. It was overwhelming. I mean, I would deal with like a dozen people, and mostly, maybe those were all new people every day. So it was like just a flood of socializing. And this was like really the meaning of social networking. Today, it's a lot of fakeness. It's a lot of being automated. It's a lot of like pumped up numbers, and it's really meaningless. There's a quantification, or just the emphasis on quantity, but the quality has gone down. The quality of the life, the quality of the experience, the quality of all the interaction, and it's forget about it. So anyhow, so I have to go to another level to make everything happen, and things are not happening just by making the video, uploading it, and then it just goes out there. But people that will be watching this are the people that are coming to my school. It's called Instituto Civilogia. That's how you pronounce it. Sometimes people want to say Institute Civilogy Institute, but the really proper name and title on the project and the organization is Instituto Civilogia. And under that rubric or umbrella is everything that I teach and my partner teachers are teaching. So my specialty, and one of the cornerstones of this and the foundation of it, is ChronoCosmonomy. And that is really huge. I need to get to that now, and I'll make a video about that as soon as I can clear my mind. And it's really a continuation of what I'm saying here, but I want it to stand alone and be more focused on what I'm to say about what I'm doing and what my category is in order to teach this incredible knowledge of the universe. So watch the next video too.